Hello everybody and welcome to the Adventures of Drawing. I will draw a scene for you today using a variety of pencils, a smudging tool and an eraser. So without further ado, let's go right into this. So a couple of hours after I did the stream this morning, I realized that I had forgotten to turn on the microphone. So, yep, there's no audio on that video, but yeah, I don't know what I should say about this. It's a mistake, it happens. And right now, triple checking right here. The mic is on, so you can hear me. Okay. So right now, it's only going to be a very simple scene. I just want to try something and improve my drawing of trees a little bit. So there's our sky right here. Fairly quickly, let me just slap that together. Going rather dark up here, so I'll adjust the rest of the values below this a little bit, and don't want to overdo it though, just like so. Now I'll take the smudging tool and go across the sky to make it a little smoother. Get rid of the lines in it. Oh, there's a fingerprint right there. And another one. Maybe I did touch my piece of paper there, although I'm not aware of it. I just opened this sketchbook and I don't think I placed my hand there, but I mean I must have. You know what? Let's try and get rid of those. I've never tried that. So far I always just left them in. Let me try and get the same value right here. And let me very gently go across this. Yeah, you can still see it if you know it, but I think if you don't know, you wouldn't even notice. Strange that the eraser also takes away the fat that's on my fingertips and not just the graphite. But okay, now I know, and so do you. Okay, just a quick ground right here. I guess the landscape has a couple of hills, since this line isn't straight. But it's not a seascape, where the horizon is definitely completely straight. There can be hills in the distance, so the horizon line doesn't have to be completely straight. Okay, just filling in something for the ground right here. And then I'll go in with the 3B pencil and get some more details in here in the ground. Just a little bit, just some zigzags. And maybe a couple of straight lines in there to give the impression of fields or something. Maybe some bushes. Some over here. And a couple of darker areas. Random lines in here. Just pretend there's something. And make a couple of marks on your piece of paper. Okay. Now to the trees. Let's say we've got a couple just at the horizon. Didn't plan on putting those in the beginning, but let's have something going on there. So I'll just make some round shapes with the HB pencil, and then I fill this entire area in, since there's not a lot of detail to be made out. Maybe a couple of vertical lines down here. Just very quickly put those in. Some tree trunks that we can make out in the distance. Okay. Now, maybe right here there's another tree. Switching to the 3B pencil right now. And another one right here. Let's have a couple right here. What the heck? Let's just go. Okay. Then maybe one right here, a little bit more back, one more forward, and one more right there. Okay. Next thing I'll do is go in with the HB pencil again. Say the light comes from the top right, which isn't too important right now. I'll just give the entire area of the foliage this HB pencil value, but for when I switch to the 3B pencil, I will make the shadows at the bottom left of the trees, just for me to be aware right now. Okay. Over to the right or trees right here. I'm noticing that those trees look very small. They're maybe 3 to 5 meters tall. And I think the reason why that is because of the amount of, I don't know how to call these, amount of parts poking out, amount of segments, maybe. So a large tree, of course, has many more branches than a small tree. And if every branch creates a segment of leaves, a volume of leaves. And so if I draw not too many segments right here, it appears that the trees seem to be young and small. No shit, Sherlock, you might say about this. But I mean, that's why we practice drawing. You can learn anything from observation, but you won't learn everything from observation. Some things just come to our mind in the process of drawing. Okay. Done with this layer in the bright side of the trees. And now on the left and on the lower side, I will go in with the 3B pencil and create some shadows in here. Okay, over to the right side. Now I have to pay attention to which of the trees is in front and which is behind the others. So I'll start with this one right here in the front. Right here we can also see the entire part that has a shadow. Right there on the entire left side of the tree. Here we might see a little less since parts are overlapping with the tree in front of it. Just a couple of shadow areas for this one. And maybe, of course, down here, but then just a couple in there. Okay. Now let me make those tree trunks a little wider. Just holding the pencil at an angle. Okay. Now the next layer. Let's have a couple of trees growing right here. Say we've got 3 trees that are closer to us. Maybe one there, one almost in the middle, and one right here to the left. Maybe coming up right here. Okay. Let's have some branches for those. Starting down here. Just some squiggly lines going in all sorts of directions. I'm going to cover those trees in the midground, which I didn't plan on doing, but that's what's going to happen right here. Some branches going off to the side, and then some going around in the middle, like so. Then a couple of branches for this tree right here. And some right here. Let's maybe just put a couple down there to not cover all those trees in the midground. One curving down here, one right here in the middle as well, one maybe like so. Okay, and then the top of each tree has the shape of the branches as well. Okay, now let's cover all this ground. Gotta put a lot of foliage in there. Same as in the background. Maybe a little bit less up here and on the outside, and then way more towards the middle of the tree. right there, and over here. I feel like the branches stick out way too much, but I hope I can cover that once I go in with a darker pencil. I really like that tree right there, but now I gotta cover it up. Maybe I'll find a way to make some parts of it stick out still. Don't think that's going to happen though, since there's another branch right here. Maybe the middle one of those three trees to the left is going to be visible a little bit more. Okay, maybe that's all for this left tree. So I'll go to the next one. All the way to the tip of the branch and back to the middle. Maybe like so. And now to the right one. Not too many branches up here, so I'll just cover a little bit of the ground where there's no branch. You can just fill in those blank areas with leaves, just like right here. Since not all the branches are visible, it still looks like there's something, some part of the tree. a little bit more right here. Over there. Down here. And going up there. Along this branch right here. Gotta fill in this gap as well. Maybe leave out the tip of those trees in the midground. At least right here to the left. This branch down there. And by now we've got all the trees at the horizon covered. So it didn't even matter for me to draw them in. But that's what happens when you just let it flow. I just had a general idea of putting some trees in the back to midground and then some in the midground like so. Maybe I'll put one in the foreground, but I'll have to see about that. Well, I guess I'm going to do so. To get something to the middle, or maybe to the side, just something in the foreground to give the scene a little bit more depth. But yeah, for now, I'll go to the 3B pencil and draw in the shadow areas. Maybe not yet. Maybe I'll just give the midsection a bit more just have a bit more going on there. Just cover that a little bit more with the HB pencil. Just so that I can pick out a couple of areas where I can draw in shadows. Otherwise, I would have to limit myself just to all those areas below the bright parts of the foliage that I drew in. And if I just give the entire midsection a value of leaves, then I can pick out which area I want to have in the shadow. Like just above this bright spot down here, down there, in here. Those dark areas are not very visible. Not too satisfied with that, and you can still see all those branches right here. But that's what it is right now. Also, the left area always has a reflection of my lighting, so I can't really see what I'm doing here. The values are completely screwed up on the left side of my piece of paper, so I mostly guess what I do there. And I can't really change my angle of observation on this part of the piece of paper, since right in front of my face right now is the microphone and the camera, and I can't really change their position. But yeah, going on to this very right tree right here. And we've got someone tuning in. Hello there. How's it going? How are we feeling right now? All right. Just blocking in those shadow values for each area of foliage poking out right here. I give the lower area a shadow value. Middle of the tree, where we don't have any volumes that we can orientate ourselves to. We can just pick any area where we want a shadow, and that makes all sorts of volumes right here in this tree. Maybe the lower sides of those branches down over here to the right as well. Looks very patchy, I guess. Not what I was having in mind or hoping for. Maybe if I join a couple of those areas, they look less patchy. Yeah, I guess so. Let's just join a couple of those. Okay, let me do that for the other trees to the left right here. Just some larger shadow areas. Maybe that's going to make it look a little bit more realistic. I keep those shadows to the left area of the tree because that's the general shadow area, since I determined that the light comes from the right. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit better. Maybe a little bit more in here. I'm not too satisfied with that though. Well, I don't know what to do about it now, so I'll just leave it at that and add some trunks to those trees. Grabbing the eraser, I erase the area to the right of those lines that I made earlier. And now, using the 3B pencil, I'll create a shadow area on this tree trunk and on the others. This one's very much off center. Okay, going in there. Maybe let's take the 7B pencil and get some structure in there. Just some very quick up and down lines. Like so. And then in the light area, some structure as well with the HB pencil. Maybe like so. And right here. Okay, let's give those trees something to stand on. Maybe some grass growing down there at the base of the trees. Okay, now for the last one. I kind of want to put it right here, but that would cover even more of this tree right there. Not so sure, but I also don't want to put it in the center, since I like the depth that we've got right here, that we can look just straight on to the horizon, like we're coming out of a forest. So yeah, I'll have to put it here. Maybe right here. Right, like so. I can spare this tree right here if I put it a little bit to its right. Okay. What a nice landscape. Like it very much with the shadows and light. Thank you very much. All right. Going to again erase the area to the left of this line to create a tree trunk for this tree in the foreground. Let's make it a little bit wider right here. Maybe like so. Okay. Now taking the 3B pencil again, I'll create a shadow side at the left right here. Maybe a little darker still. Like so. Then I grab the 7B pencil again and go up and down this tree trunk to create a bark. Right there. All the way up. Okay. Switching back to the HB pencil. I'll do the same to the light area right here. Just a little bit of a structure. leaving some areas blank. Okay. Now I want just a couple of branches coming down from this tree. Maybe one is growing right here and over there. Maybe one is growing down here in the distance. And yeah, one is coming down right here to the left. Let's add some bifurcations in there. One down here, one crossing over to the other side right here, and another one going up there. Then I make the branches thicker towards the tree trunk. Right there. This one maybe from this point on towards the trunk, a little thicker. Right up there, and this one, yeah, wouldn't be noticeable, but maybe just a little bit. Okay. Now I still got the 3B pencil. Let's go grab the HB pencil and once more add some foliage to the branches. Right there. Let's start down here. Go over here. It's all behind the tree trunk. So I'll have to skip this and start again on the other side of the trunk. Going over here to this other part of the branch. Maybe there are some leaves visible from branches that grow more at the top. Maybe right here as well. Just growing down here, just the tip of those higher branches. And then we've got this one right there. Crazy branches, but in the end, your trees look always very natural. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know how long you've been sticking around. I was saying about those 3 trees in the midground that you can still see way too much of the branches that you wouldn't normally see, but that's just what it is today. I gotta go with what I fabricate right here. And yeah, glad you like it. Okay, I think that's enough for this tree right there. And then all that's left is to also add some shadow areas down here. So at the lower area of all those volumes of foliage that I drew right there, I'll add some darker values for the shadows. Now let me see if I can discern anything up here. Can't really make out where this lower tree starts and where the tree in the foreground starts, but I'll just make something up right here. Maybe you just gotta wing it and look at what is going to happen. Okay, some darker areas right here, and then some dark areas over here. Maybe just like this. Okay. Now, this is our scene for today. So let's clean up those edges, shall we? Try and get a straight line up here. Tidy this up. Then the right area. I meant that it's fascinating. All right. That's interesting to hear. But I guess that's good for me. Or like, I'm glad that it has this effect on you. That's very nice. Ah, okay. So I think you mean the process of drawing? By first giving them the quote-unquote skeleton and then adding the foliage? I mean, is that what you mean by growing? Okay. Now, let's sign this little thing, shall we? Okay. Thanks to everybody tuning in. We had a couple of viewers today, which I'm very grateful for. Thanks for popping into the chat. Not the process, but their appearance. Okay, sure. All right. Right. I hope you got something out of this. Maybe some inspiration or motivation to draw yourself or get creative. Maybe just entertainment for after work, your afternoon or your evening. If you've made it to the end of the stream or to the end of the VOD, depending on when you watch it, please consider subscribing to the channel. Consider giving the stream a like and drop down in the comments. Tell me what you think about what I'm doing right here. The process is also interesting. All right, I'm glad that it is, since that's a part of my intention right here, to show the process of composing a landscape drawing. Okay. I hope you're having a lovely time of the day. And without With all this said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.